Welcome back to episode 17 of the Genuine Life Podcast. This week, I want to talk about the Google Podcast Creator Program and why y'all almost had me crying. And I want to dig into real life versus social media. Let's dig into it, friends. Hello, beautiful people. It's your host, Jennifer Nicole, and I want to welcome you back to another episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you had a great week and weekend, and of course I hope you're staying safe, sane, and sanitized. Now go on and grab your beverage. Your friend here is going to sip on some iced tea. It's not spiked today. I want it to be, professional on today's show. So I am drinking some tea with a little bit of lemon in it, and it's divine. And I hope whatever you're sipping on brings you joy, as this tea is bringing me. So anyway, let's jump into last week, because it was a historic week. We had a week where Kamala Harris was announced as Biden's VP. Now, let me be very clear. I will never speak on politics on this show. It's not my calling, nor do I have any interest to go deeper than what I'm about to say in the next minute. But I will celebrate something as cool and historic as that. Regardless of how you feel about either party or either one of them, it's pretty cool, you have to admit, to see and bear witness to this country's first female potential VP. So wanted to insert that here. I thought that was pretty cool. And it's a reason why representation matters, because at this point you have kids looking and they're probably like, you know what, I can become a VP one day too. And that to me is what it's all about. I also had the opportunity to finally visit the Yard Milkshake Bar. And oh my God, I don't know if you guys have been. I know they have several locations out on the East Coast, I believe. I know they have some in Austin. That's not the East Coast, Jennifer. Anyway, there's some in Austin. They just opened up one here in Atlanta. But if you do not know, the Yard Milkshake Bar has these outrageous milkshakes. They also serve ice cream as well. But it's just a very cute spot to take someone on a little date or whatever, if that's your little situation, or take the kids, because like I said, they are outrageous, layered up with candy and chocolate and whipped cream and sprinkles, and they have something called the unicorn milkshake. I mean, just ridiculous. Okay, I paid almost $18 for those milkshakes, so that should give you an idea of what it looks like and what all goes into this thing. You also get a souvenir mason jar that you could take home, which I think adds to the price as well. But for the most part, I absolutely loved the place. It was really, really cool. So check them out. And you should be following me on Instagram. If you aren't, I actually, you missed out. I posted what it looked like and a few pictures from there. So anyway, that was the Yard Milkshake Bar. So I promised in the beginning I wanted to talk to you all about the Google Podcast Creator Program. And I want to quickly shout out and thank those of you that thought of me to send me the link to apply to this amazing program. And what's really crazy is 3 of you, mind you, they do not know each other. And the 3 of them sent me the link on 3 different days, encouraging me to apply. Okay. And I had never heard of this program. I didn't even know this was going on. And what was really cool is the application process had been extended. So I was right in, able to get my stuff in right on time. But it made me think, and, I have to say, this is exactly why you need to keep going. Right? You have to keep creating. You have to keep pushing your content if you're a creative or an entrepreneur. People are listening, they're watching, and they're rooting you on. And sometimes you won't even know it, right? You don't even know, but you'll always receive confirmation that you need to keep going right when you need it. Now, I had no clue what this program was, as I mentioned, but imagine my surprise when I learned what was in store if this podcast gets chosen. So, their mission, as stated on their site, is to provide a global audio community with open resources that empower underrepresented voices and showcase new work. So, if I'm chosen, actually, when I'm chosen. If you watch Family Guy, you'll get that. But anyway, um, when I am chosen, because we all know that's how we talk on this podcast, right? We're gonna go ahead and claim it as if it's already happened. This is what I'll get, okay? An opportunity to forge close relationships with other podcasters and industry experts from around the world. So many of you know this too. You know, sometimes you can be in a room full of people filled with knowledge, and that alone is priceless. So I was super excited about that. You can also receive up to $12,000 in funding, which can be used toward branding, marketing, really pushing out the podcast. I'll get new audio equipment and the chance to refine my skills in storytelling, sound design, marketing, and so much more. Isn't that exciting? Let me tell you, I will find out if my podcast was chosen either way on September 4th. So send me all the posies. I need all the positive vibes, please. And let us all rebuke the hater vibes, because I know there's some folks out there who are like, she don't need nothing. That's fine. You don't have to want me to get anything, but guess what? It's still gonna happen anyway. So anyway, I am super, super excited. Thank you again to everybody that sent me the link. Thank you to those of you who are sending me all the positive vibes and rooting for me. I will be sure, I promise, to let you know how this turns out, because when the show is chosen, I actually cannot record for 4 months. So this will be a sacrifice for us all, you know? You won't have the show for 4 months. I can't record for 4 months, but I will be able to come back better than ever. And so please go ahead and put it out there for me, because the more people putting it out in the universe, it will come back for me. So thank you. All right, let's get into today's topic, okay? It's been on my mind for a little while, and honestly, this might have to be a part 2, because I really think it can really go deeper with a guest on the show. But I just wanted to kind of start putting some feelers out and just really getting my thoughts to paper and then paper to mic, okay? I want to talk about social media versus real life. Are they one and the same? Are they two separate things? And is it okay if they're two separate things? I want to talk about that. I think living in a world where image is king, there are some that feel this pressure to visually portray an image that may not be 100% true. And the complete opposite of that, of course, is not being okay and not having it all together and immediately turning to social media to portray that all is well or seek validation or comfort from people who may or may not know you. Is social media and your real life one and the same? Now, of course, this podcast is not intended to insult anyone, okay? So I just want to say that, first of all. It's not directed to anybody. I'm just thinking out loud. It's simply an opportunity for us to reflect and check our motives. I'm also not referring to someone who makes their living off of social media and has to post for payment, right? Like, we all know Kylie Jenner does not wake up in a bikini and a perfectly, dewy face, but I'm sure she's getting paid $1 million to show this picture of a perfectly dewy face and tell us that she's going all natural because her Kylie skin products have her skin glowing, right? Like, that's marketing. But I'm talking about us. Those of us who are not being paid to post. Those of us who have the option to pick what we post and have a responsibility in what we post because we are being watched and people are looking to us, whether we know it, admit it, or acknowledge it. You are being watched and people are being inspired by everything that you post every day. For example, have you ever met someone in person that you only knew, quote unquote, on social media, and they were a completely different person in real life? Like, it was almost like, who are you? Or my favorite, a woman who's all about women empowerment and uplifting women and all about her sisters. But then when you meet her in person, she's rude and nasty and slaying women behind their backs with her tongue. That's what I'm talking about today. I think it's important to define what a contradiction is in this case, and it means a combination of statements, ideas, or features of a situation that are opposed to one another. It can also be defined as a person, thing, or situation in which inconsistent elements are present. So have you ever thought about this? Or is it just me? Because if it's just me, then lie to me. As we talk about that being a contradiction, right? See, the problem with social media is it has become more about how something looks, what's popular, and what's in, and not how life really is. Now, I'm not talking about angles and posing and taking a really cool picture, because if you all know me, I'm a firm believer in a good photo. Okay, I will not condone someone posting a bad picture just to keep it real, because if my fupa is showing, if I can twist a little bit or cross my leg, then I'm gonna do that. But y'all all know at the end of the day, Jennifer has fupa. Okay, if you don't know what that is, you need to look that up. Okay, because I know I have some guys that listen to the show that might have gone over your heads, but that's, again, we'll dedicate an episode for y'all. So I want to kind of pull in an example. Let's talk about a personal trainer, right? We'll pull a personal trainer thing. If you're promoting a healthy living to all of your followers, but behind closed doors you keep a drawer filled with M&Ms and Kit Kat bars without telling your followers you struggle with candy bars or showing that side of your training, okay, I consider you a contradiction. Your message, your image, and real life don't align. And what makes social media so amazing is its ability to connect with real people in real time, going through and accomplishing real things. It should inspire, encourage, and educate others. And by not remaining true to who you really are, you could be setting someone else up for disappointment, right? Personal trainer. If you're out here showing these are the results you get when you do A, B, C, and D, but you forget to tell people that, I struggle with chocolate, but I might have a Kit Kat bar before bed, just that one extra bit of information can really open up the floodgates to someone who has, I don't want to use the word addiction to chocolate, but maybe they always need a piece of chocolate after dinner. And now that they see you do too, they can see that the results are achievable. Okay? I think it's super, super important to walk in your truth, because you could be leading folks down a dark path and not even know it. It's why I always try to be honest and transparent on the show and with folks that I come in contact with in real life. I don't have it all together and I never claim to, but I'm a living testimony that you can have entanglements, and not the Jada and Will entanglements. I'm talking about problems, situationships, and things that you can overcome. And while you're overcoming those things, you can still put a smile on someone's face. You can still be a decent human being. And you can still make money being yourself. You don't have to put on a front, I remember purchasing a waist trainer from a company on Instagram that shall remain nameless. And admittedly, like most things on Instagram, right, the photos, the marketing, and comments under the post are what won at the end of the day. So I ended up purchasing the trainer. And it was also promoted as a great addition to your workout to kind of help enhance your workouts. But the problem that I was starting to have was that the owner never worked out. Admitted it. Never worked out. So I know you're probably thinking, well, Jennifer, isn't that what you're talking about? Like, at least she was keeping it real. But not in my opinion. If that's the case, don't market it as, a great addition to a workout. Just tell us you like to wear it around the house while you're cleaning, or occasionally out for a walk with the dog, But I feel like it was a contradiction, and it turned me off. Like, I didn't even want to wear it anymore. Now, of course, I'm sure my one little purchase, wasn't going to bring the whole ship down, but that's what I mean. It's like I'm questioning everything now, because now I feel like you're just trying to sell to me, and that you really don't care about the overall mission for this particular product that you're trying to push. So don't get me wrong. There were times where I questioned myself. I'll take a picture or I'll record a video, and then I'll just stop and be like, what are you doing? Why are you posting this? And who is it really for? Am I posting this because I am seeking some kind of validation? Or am I really sharing this because I want to share it with people who are following my social media account? And what is the motive behind posting this? Is it going to educate, motivate, or encourage someone? That's the three things I always try to remember before I post. And if it doesn't do any of those three, at least is it something positive? If you follow me on social media, I do not get involved in mess. I'm not a political person. I've never been. I'm not going to, go in and share all of these controversial topics. That's me. And there's absolutely nothing wrong if someone chooses to do so. I just want my piece of the internet to be a safe haven for anyone that comes over there, including my podcast. Okay? And so if those three things aren't involved in anything that I post, I take a moment, and I decide if I really need to share it or if this is something that I can keep to myself and just share with friends, super close friends and family, if it's something that I desperately want to share. But there are times where I have to open up a little bit because I am trying to push this particular podcast, a brand, and I do want people who aren't able to connect with me in real life to feel like they are getting some insight into who I am, with that beautiful fine line that still allows me some privacy as well. If at any point you feel like your social media life and real life are not aligned, I feel like you're calling in unnecessary stress, right? While I realize this message may not be for all, we all know someone who might need this message. And I can always tell when I'm on social media who is seeking likes and who needs validation, and those who are posting because they want to share a moment with their friends and their followers. If you are doing social media for likes and validation, you will always come up disappointed. Social media is a collection of imperfect people sharing snippets of perfect moments of their lives. It's exactly why you can't believe everything that you see. I'm going to quote a really good and wise friend of mine. Someone asked him, "Why are you always posting pictures with your shirt off? It's like you need us to validate you and tell you that you look good." And he simply stated, "The picture was validated when I chose to post it." And I don't know what that did to me, but I loved every single second of that response because that's the truth. It is how you need to look at social media, whether you get 1 like or 1,000. You, your life, and your photos that you choose and videos that you post are valid and they're valuable. Just make sure they're not a persona and that they are the real you. Posing next to a private jet and then hopping on a Spirit flight, it ain't right. And let me be clear, there's nothing wrong with Spirit. I'm not talking about, what you're hopping on, and I'm definitely not talking about manifestation. If you want to take a picture in front of a private jet to share with folks that you're manifesting this, but I'm heading over to catch my Spirit flight, that is completely fine because you're showing people what the work looks like in order to get to the end result. But if you're posting to give the idea that you're exclusive and rich, I challenge you to take a deep look within on the why. Okay? I did that before. I have a picture in front of a Tesla that was not mine, and I was posing in front of it like it was mine. But those of you that know me know I want a Tesla truck, Tesla Model X, black, white seats, really, really bad. Okay? And I took a picture in front of this particular model because it was just perfect. It was exactly what I wanted. And I keep it on my phone because that is me manifesting it. But you didn't see me posting it like, yeah, riding out on these hoes. Like, I'm just not going to do that because it's not the truth. I'm going to hop back in my 2017 little Nissan Sentra called Licorice because that's my reality and that's the real deal. I don't have a Tesla Model X. And so I do want it real bad though. So if anybody knows anyone looking to give away a Tesla Model X, you can send them my information. Thank you. I'll end by simply saying this. Real life and social media don't have to be two separate things if you use social media to your advantage. It should not stress you out or overwhelm you, but if it does, you have the power to disconnect. If all you want to share with people is your weight loss journey on your social media feed, then do that. If you feel led to inspire others by sharing your life or sharing positive images and memes, do that. If you have a boo thing and you don't feel like telling anybody about this person, guess what? You don't have to. I know someone who has a whole family, and if you only followed him on social media, you would have no idea because he chooses to keep that part of his life private. And in today's climate, social media is proving why we all need breaks. And some of these breaks include breaks from family or friends. And guess what? That's okay too. At the end of the day, it's all about protecting your space, your peace, and that beautiful smile of yours. All right, beautiful people. That'll do it for today's episode. I thank you for joining me today and letting me just kind of get that rant off my brain. I think I'm really interested in getting a guest on the show to really kind of dig into this a little bit more. So if you have any comments or questions about today's topic, you know what to do. Hit me up on social media because that's where I be. And send me what your thoughts are about the show if you have any questions so that we can address it on the next episode. And don't forget to share that you are listening to any episode of the Genuine Life Podcast. Don't forget to tag me on Instagram as well so I can show you some love. And if sharing isn't your thing, that's cool too. No pressure. Go ahead and take a second to rate and or leave a review for me. It would be super helpful. But until next week, friends, remember to stay encouraged. Make sure you journal. And finally, you're amazing. Toodles.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. Make sure you're following Jenn on Instagram at Genuine Life, and that's JENNUINE Life to stay connected throughout the week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Genuine Life podcast episodes. Until then, join us back here on Monday for a new episode. As always, beauties, remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and be genuine.